Oh.
Oh,
Oh my lord.
All right.
Lord. Lord.
Oh.
It's too hot.
My lord. We're back.
Oh my
We're back.
gosh.
What is
Another
this?
one.
Where are
We
we?
thought we got canceled. but
Where are
ain't.
we?
We're back at it again with a whole new video.
Oh gosh.
And
You're
you know
like
what
one
this
of those
video
guys that
is?
cover the scam.
Yo,
Whoa.
welcome back to another Pernice
Welcome back,
review.
Boom,
Welcome
and
back.
we're
Before we
back.
get started, make sure you hit like and
Like.
subscribe to keep those numbers pumping. This week we're gonna get
Gosh.
to 3
You're
likes.
way
That's what
too
we're
good
gonna
at this.
We're gonna get to 3 likes, and if we get 3 likes on this video, I'm going to strip naked around my entire neighborhood.
You heard it, everybody. That's just
3
1,
likes.
2, 3. And we
3
know
likes.
that there's at least
That's just 3.
2 people watching. So
If we get
If
to
all 3 of us like it, then
Oh,
he
wow.
has to do it.
I didn't think about this. If we get to here's a different incentive. If we get to 50 million likes, then we are
That's
going
such a
to
jump from 3.
there's no
Well,
middle
it's
ground.
it's to create incentive. If we get to 50 million
Incense.
likes, we are going
It smells
to
nice.
solve world hunger.
Done. We already have the plan. Just need the likes.
We got the plan. We just need
We're
the
holding
likes.
the world hostage of food
It's
until
Give
It's
us
just
the
50
likes.
million likes.
And
There's
everyone's full. Forever.
There's 350
forever.
million people in the U.S. That's
What, you won't like a
1/7?
post to save
weird.
everyone?
Yeah,
You
well,
sick,
you know how it is.
have you ever?
sick
You know what?
person.
Come on.
All right.
Today's video is sponsored by alcohol that you
And-
can't see.
It's also
That's actually pretty nice. Like for like, so we don't, because we want to leave our products ambiguous.
Oh, mine was definitely ambiguous. Mine was, some might say, not even there.
You might not know at this point in the podcast, but this is actually the Sci-Fi Rebellion. And we're
This
here
is.
for episode 3 of the podcast that's about
No, we're on episode 3
sci-fi.
podcast. Episode 3 of the podcast, episode 4 of Bad Batch, which we will be discussing today.
Brady Bunch. Sorry.
Brady Bunch.
Bad
The
Batch.
baby,
Jared's-
the bad,
Jared stuck on episode 3. If you don't get that reference, make sure you go and click right here to go check out that reference from episode 3.
Oh gosh, we're referential, so watch out.
A lot of references up in this bitch. So what do we think of episode 4? Do we think, it explored some things? Do we think it
Episode
didn't say
4 of
anything? Bad Batcheroo,
Oh yes,
the
that
Star Wars
show.
I'm
show
with the clones.
with the people
That is the one.
Well,
and the actors.
episode 4, versus episode 3, I didn't think it was quite as good. Let's be honest here.
I agree.
Interesting.
It had some finer moments. The ending of it, seeing that we have the return of the Mandalorian sniper, whose name
Fennec Shan.
is Fennec Shan, which I knew, of
Yeah,
course.
100%. I definitely didn't have it
Shan.
written down.
That's pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see. So when I saw it, I was noting that she already did have the robo limbs, but it would definitely be seemingly too early for her to be working with Boba, because Boba would still
Yeah.
be hella young. So
Seems like she's just working with whoever can get her some cash.
yeah. So who
Cash
do we think that?
Typical bounty hunter.
That could be.
Do we think it? I personally, if I had to make a wager, if I had to roll the dice on this one, I would personally think it's the Empire hunting down. Ooh, yeah, I would say the Empire, but then we find out halfway through the episode or something that it's not necessarily the Bad Batch who they're looking for. It is Omega herself. So
We've
it could
got
be
a
the
whole-
Empire, could be the long neck albino dinosaurs.
The alligators.
Albino dinos.
We've got a Baby Yoda situation all over again.
Here we go again.
Force wielding children are wanted like hotcakes at Denny's. All right, it's just if you
Get 'em
have
while you
the
can.
abilities and you're young and able to be turned, they want to
You're-
eat you
you're
up.
crucial.
The Republic or the Empire,
There we go.
Empire.
The Republic has fallen.
The Republic. if they get their hands on somebody unique like that at a young age, they're all about the children.
Apparently,
I
bunch
do.
of
I think
child
that Cole's probably
soldiers.
right with that. Like, I think it's probably the Kaminoans if they're looking to get the
But
DNA
why?
to start their next clone production, as we heard about in
Exactly.
episode 2.
She's important.
Right. Yeah. So that's
Very important.
that's what it would seem like, at least.
But we could be wrong, as
one-
we often are.
Yes. One thing I'd
Cheers to
like to
that.
note, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So, in episode 2 of the Sci-Fi Rebellion, you may remember our discussion of Omega and the fact that she was super capable and was not just being the typical kid character
Yeah,
causing problems.
I was gonna comment
and
on
I
that.
was so down with that. And then we got to this,
Yeah.
and this episode was just like, well, apparently
She's a child.
she's the
Tip-
same.
a-
She's the same
a-
as all
a
of them.
Typical episode where a kid gets distracted by a puppy, runs down 4 blocks for a
Somehow
stolen
goes missing.
item that was taken by accident, and ridiculous. Typical story arc of getting a kid away from their family for some reason kids will run blocks.
Well, they got a
for-
lot of
for that.
energy.
They don't
If
even
I had
think
to,
about it.
if I had to wager, I would say that Disney listened to our podcast.
and then
and then
played the thing I was happy wasn't in the
Yeah.
show.
and then decided to change it based on our reactions. That's just me speculating here. But it just seems really likely that they changed that because of us last minute production change. That's just personal thing.
I agree, and I would speculate that means our Disney sponsorship is really just days
It's
away, moments
It's
away.
strained.
No, dude. They saw our content, and even though they didn't agree with it, they took it to heart, and that means they're ready. We're getting in there. At
Yeah,
the
we're-
top
Sponsor us, Disney. We're talking about. We got your products right here on display.
We don't
Yeah,
have,
we
we have nothing on display.
Speaking
have
of
good attitude on display.
there we go. Positive.
Fun.
Glass half full situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that maybe didn't live up to the expectations you had for them, I personally just pictured, Wrecker being like the big brute, clearly has some sort of like super strength kind of thing going on. I just found a bit peculiar, helmet on and everything, that he just like threw a punch at the sniper lady, Fennec Shan, and she just dodged that shit, grabbed him, and then threw him into a wall, and he was out.
Robo.
I was like, you would think that maybe the brute character would be a little bit tougher and could survive a
Well-
hit like that. He got shot and didn't pass out. This man got hit against the wall and was like, "Oh, I'm out."
I agree that was pretty sad, but I will say
like
that
it.
it seems like Hunter is the close quarters one-on-one combat type of guy.
Yeah. without a doubt.
Wrecker's more of the AoE. I'm gonna smash everything in this area
True.
to smithereens, and usually that's been stupid clones or droids.
Mhm.
So he hasn't had to use the old noggin too much on a one-on-one fight. So I think Hunter is the guy that would put up a best bet against her. Although that was really lame. I was like, I mean, let her
He got
let him
one
throw-
shotted.
Yeah, he just got KO'd with one stupid little play.
Yeah.
So
But she's clearly an experienced assassin, only be able to be taken down by the Mandalorian himself, who is probably a small child at this point.
well,
Or
Hunter
like a
took,
teenager.
took him
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter took
her
down.
for a
That's true.
while.
Very true. Very
Do
true.
you think this is far out there? But
Far out. Bro.
what if Wrecker was able to go one-hitted because he still had that cranial injury from the last?
He did?
It's
he did
possible.
knock his head right like
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
that could be another biscuit of truth, but
Probably not.
nugget.
it seems like
Probably
it
not.
feels like that we're starting to more really grab for those little things, whereas that seems like we're fishing a little bit for that one.
That may be.
Everybody likes
yeah,
fishing. I got my line, and who knows what we're gonna catch.
bass.
That's not the point though.
The point is, we're
that
not
one-
fishing right now.
We're not fishing currently, and we definitely. I think
I'd
that
like to be fishing.
reference
could
was
be.
a bit of
We could
a
be
fish.
fishing. Why don't we
Um,
just change the podcast to fishing?
Let's just leave right now. Everyone leave and just go fish.
We'll see you next week, guys.
All right. I actually
Alright.
Cole,
forgot.
you
I
guys
don't
were
have
really motivated.
I
for
don't
that
have
one.
a
I'm
rod.
motivated to fish.
You don't have a what?
No fishing rod.
Oh, a rod. Okay. I
I don't have any worms.
I don't even know what I heard. So yeah, Omega does something bad, something stupid, gets captured temporarily by Fennec.
Very true. But
But the that's I guess just the first hello of her. I'm assuming we'll
Mhm.
see a lot more of her.
Yeah.
I wonder, since now we know that they're looking for Omega, if it's mainly going to just be Fennec Shan and they're just trying to add like some more lore and some more background to her and get her more like implemented in the Star Wars universe, or if we could see some possible other bounty hunters around this time pop up, possibly a young Boba Fett,
Dengar.
recently appointed. I'm looking for a word here. Anointed, maybe that's the word. Anointed with his proper armor, but still looks kind of young. We could see Bosk Lizard Man show up. We could see, like you said, Dengar maybe, since he did make an appearance in the Clone Wars. Who knows? But yeah, so we could see some other bounty hunters pop up. I personally just want to see Boba a lot, but I'm a shill for Boba. I'm a shill for New Zealand people.
I do think it's kind of cool that they're bringing in Fennec more because of the upcoming Boba show. So it's gonna make her character even better in that if they can add some good stuff.
Very true. It seems like she's gonna be like one of the focused bounty hunters moving forward
Yeah.
in the Disney canon, which is weird that like as they implement new characters, like since Star Wars is really pretty much contained as of right now from Phantom Menace to Rise of Skywalker, how it's like we're just going to keep introducing and discussing characters between this little time frame. So I don't know. It's definitely an interesting strategy. Usually as like Marvel or other movies, it's like they just keep adding characters as the timeline goes on versus we got a fixed little situation here and we're just exploring everything in between. But
Yeah.
Star Wars is a big universe, so I don't see it necessarily going to be their downfall or anything like that. We'll see.
No.
Yeah, that's why I love the whole universe thing that they've got going on, Star Wars and then like Marvel. You create a bigger universe and then you can just explore previous before that or right after that. You can just add a bunch of characters that way. It's pretty nice. I enjoy it.
I'm interested to
Okay.
see, like, how long do you guys foresee that? You might have already heard, like, Star Wars has the High Republic thing going on right now, right? And that's like set before
Like
all of
100.
yeah,
I think it's
400 years
hundreds.
or something.
Yeah, it's
Um,
Yoda's still around, but he's a lot younger.
Yeah.
That's the only like
I want to see
major
young
difference.
Yoda.
So like, how
teenage
long?
Yoda, young buck Yoda.
We haven't really seen any direct shows or movies related to that, and the video game content that's come out so far is basically
Fallen
not.
Order.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Well, Fallen Order wasn't even a High Republic.
No.
Yeah. So, I don't know. How long do you foresee that they keep churning out content that, like Cole said, is confined to just this kind of narrow window of Skywalker space?
I personally think that after Rise of Skywalker, and especially after the recent reception of the sequel trilogy, I could see them trying to stray away from the Skywalker stuff. Now that timeline is a whole nother story because obviously that covers a large period of time. But the Skywalker story itself, I think that they're pretty much retiring with. But we do know that one of the new shows coming out, I want to say next year or maybe it's 2023. All I know is that it was revealed in one of like Disney's recent expo or something like that, that there's this Star Wars show coming out called Sith Acolyte, or Star Wars Acolyte, something like that. And it's during the High Republic, and it's about like what the Sith that's doing some shady stuff leading up to obviously like the Clone Wars and all that kind of stuff, but still hundreds of years beforehand. So
That's hype.
should be interesting to like kind of dive into the Sith a little bit when they're still like, in hiding and still formulating the plan to like overtake the entire galaxy's government. So that's the only thing I know that's coming out that deals with that time period beyond the books, which I have not read a single page of because
Same.
I do not know how to read. So this will probably present future problems, but we shall see.
Probably not.
I think it'll be okay.
I think I'll be all right.
You got audiobooks.
Yeah. With James
Yeah.
McAvoy. But yeah, no, going back to the episode, I kind of felt like it was like just another mid-tier episode. I didn't think it was like bad by any means. It was just kind of like a little side adventure. But it seems like Mandalorian and Bad Batch have like a habit, whether you want to call it a habit or just like a tendency of going from main story beats, little side adventure, main story beats, little side adventure. Because clearly Crosshair and his whole arc is like pretty integral to the story right now. Talked about episode 1. Episode 2, there wasn't really anything. Episode 3, we got a little bit more of. And then episode 4, back to just a little adventure. And Mandalorian was kind of a similar way. So it seems to be like Disney has a winning strategy with that.
I feel like, in contrary to what you said a little bit, I think it was still like a story-driven episode, just because we've give the little bit more confidence that there's definitely something different about Omega, other than the fact that she's just a clone.
Yeah.
And that whether it be the Empire or fish people that want her back.
They're dinosaurs, Jared, please.
Dinosaurs.
Brachiosaurus.
Yes, Brachiosaurus, sorry. As long as one of those two want her back, she's obviously pretty dang interesting, which I think they were just trying to show more of. And now we've got this high-class bounty hunter after her at all times. So I wouldn't say that that's a filler episode by any means.
I mean, just like the plot of the episode itself is filler. Obviously, it progresses. Yeah, it progressed the story
for sure. I hate
we
the
know
whole
that people are hunting him down. So
kid gets distracted running down 4 blocks.
Trying to find a little kitty cat with antlers. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was the perfect level of gross and cute, that little dog sludge thing
that Star Wars has truly excelled in.
They did
something that's really cute, but also really fucking weird.
Yeah, but I may have chased it as long as I wasn't, with like
blonde
people that were on hit list #1 of the Empire.
Yeah. Well, she's still experiencing things. She's still learning as a person.
Every time she gets to go to a new world, she's like, yes, new world.
Oh yeah,
so exciting.
Explore the world.
Yes. And then she goes down and immediately gets attacked by something. So she needs to stop seeing them so beautifully and see that a lot of them are dangerous. Don't go outside the fence.
Yeah, I was just about to say
5 feet.
I think that this planet could have used a fence. Really could have used a fence to cover and keep.
Isn't that what this was supposed to be about?
Apparently,
a fence.
We also keep seeing the whole chain code thing brought up again. So I'm guessing this is either just to either keep exploring that, hey, imperialism is kind of like slowly spreading to the rest of the galaxy, or if this is going to be like a big thing moving forward, is like a big plot element that's going to be about the chain codes themselves and how they're being implemented and how they affect the whole system and everything. So I don't know. I just noticed that it was ironic that they also had it on this planet as well, which kind of seemed like a average backwater kind of planet. So
yeah,
we'll see. We shall see.
That actually is a good point there. I thought that was like a cool thing to see, because you never think about, I don't even know if, other than Boba showing his chain code, and early in with Jango Fett, he had like a chain code, right? Already?
I think so, but I don't know if that was Mandalorian specific rather than governmental.
Right. Well, no, that's what I was going to say. So it's interesting seeing it from like a governmental perspective, the fact that had to happen with citizens that were just like Please don't kill me.
They're all getting social security numbers and they're not used to it.
Yeah.
Like, I was living off a grid for a while. I don't want to have a number attached to me. And all the clones were like, bitch, our names are numbers. We've been had numbers.
Get used to it.
Get used to it.
We all just a number.
We all just a number. How you mean? Can we get a moment for the greatest character in the episode? Clink, the droid, the
Clink?
legend.
I always love the
little-
personalities that come out of the droid.
I'm gonna call him Chonk. That's his name.
Who are you talking
been
about? Are you
renamed.
talking about that one that had like little limbs?
Yeah, the little like,
Yeah.
Dude,
The
that
R2
was the-
guy that had like little arms and legs.
that was way cuter than like a lot of stuff we've seen so far this season, and
was
Disney's
pretty
normally
funny.
about it. So
We can
they,
call
they
him-
succeeded
What's
on
his
that
name?
one.
Clink? We call
I
him
think
Clink
it's
from now on?
No, we're
Clink.
calling him Chonk. His name is
Chonk.
Chonk. We're never gonna say Clink again. Just
Chonk.
everyone hear it now. That's just some podcast meta.
This is new canon. We are retconning it. A sentence that we said minutes ago.
Yep.
if not seconds.
So what did we end on? Chonkus?
Chonk.
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 Chonk
Just
is his name.
Chonkus is
I-
very tempting though, but if we go Chonkus, it's just gonna keep going on. Like
It's
where are we
gonna keep getting
stop?
explored.
Yeah.
I just hope that we see
Chonkesius.
more of that character. He was the most compelling of the episode, in my
His-
opinion.
Yeah, very
Who?
dynamic. Chonk.
Goals, determinations.
Beautiful. Character.
Somebody kind of droid related that I know you guys were casting a lot of, insults at. Just bringing this guy down. Winnie, put your bucket hat back on, please. You're ruining the meta. You guys were talking about how Echo didn't really have like a proper role. Well, this episode, we got to see Echo be vital to the team in the sense that they dressed him up as a droid, which I personally
Oh
loved.
yeah, I forgot about
I thought that was hilarious. they
that
dressed
was
him up as one.
hilarious. Right after we talked about it too.
And he was like, "I'm worth more." Like I said, I think Disney is listening to our podcast and they're
They were
changing
like,
things.
embrace the fact that he is a droid. They were right.
He does have a screwdriver hand, and that will come in handy. But no, I just thought it was really funny. And then he was like talking to one guy, and he was like, "I think I'm worth more than this." And he's like trying to be a droid. And as soon as he gets behind the door, he's like, "Oh yeah, screw this. I'm not a droid. You guys are coming to help me fix the ship."
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
he had a gun on him. So like even when the guy was buying him, he could just like look down and just saw that the thing had a gun. I personally would have been like, let's take that
Oh
away
my
from
God.
you.
Check that
Not,
out.
not sure that you need this.
Dude,
to
Dude, he
help
put
around the
full
shop.
he put full trust in this droid instantly. He's like, go back and start telling all of my droids what to do. I don't know what I do, but
I just hired some droids and they run the business. I do
You
the
can-
customer interactions.
You can use your gun to push them around if you have to.
yeah,
That's why I didn't
they're-
say anything about it. I just assumed this was for crowd control or something.
If you're laying down the law, might as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did think. Yeah, so now we know that if they ever need a quick buck, they can sell him as a droid.
And then he can just walk
So,
off, no problem.
We finally found his purpose.
That's like
Welcome to the group, Money Bags.
Moneybags Echo.
Money Bag is Echo.
that's like the unlimited water hack in Minecraft,
Yeah.
dog. That's like the same thing. They
Basically,
figured it
it's the
out.
thing.
Yeah,
Just constantly getting more what's it called? More money, more
Yeah.
galactic
I
credits.
guess. Yeah, and he kind of interacts with. Maybe he's just really good with droids himself.
I wonder if
know?
he can like talk to them specifically.
Yeah, like some neural network.
with his little robot headband.
Well,
Or
he's
half
got
of
a
it.
screwdriver hand, so I bet he could.
He could do a thing or two to the
He
droids.
could do a thing or two with the old screwdriver hand to this droid. So
That was a little winky session right
Lewd.
there.
Lewd.
Alluding to future uses.
I would say, yeah, let's hope that what Cole said is somewhat right in that episode 5 will be another banger episode. I'm
Dealing with
definitely
crosshairs
looking
and whatnot.
forward. I mean, again, most of what we said still applies. I'm personally, I'm going down market. My theory is it is the dinosaurs from the planet Mandalore at the cloning facilities that's not on Mandalore, that's on Camino.
we go.
They are going to be the
Uh-huh.
ones that are paying Fennec to track Omega because they want her for Phase 3 clonage. It's got to be either her or one of the other Bad Batch, but it's almost definitely her or Crosshair. It's got to be.
Well,
I mean,
it just depends if when they were talking about recreating or making a new generation of clones that are even more advanced to keep their place in the Empire. It's all about whether they have that and whether that be Crosshairs or someone else, or if that is Omega and they need Omega back for that reason, or maybe they just really want Omega back for another reason. So depends if those are the same people. Although since they're both kind of like vaguely brought up, I would venture to say that they're probably the same.
my assumption would be based on what we know about the fact that there being 5 defective clones, and we learned that one of those is Omega, that she was also just like a mutation or whatever, so they hadn't planned on her. But now that they see her abilities and stuff, they're probably thinking, that's the blood we need. Get it back.
That's the blood.
Bring that blood on back.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how it picks up the next episode. Do we know how many episodes are in this season?
1 million.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Bad Batch.
Not expecting that
100
many.
years. 100, 300 years. Bad Batch is Bad Batch.
I don't know.
Bad
how
Batch
many.
season 1 episode 500,967.
I'm gonna guess 10.
10's fair.
10 or 16 maybe, or maybe 8. 8, 10, or any other number. Those are also reasonable.
I'd say
With-
between 10 and 16
I
is a safe bet.
would hope more in line with the 16. Only
tell me
because
why.
I was about to until you cut me off. Now I completely forget what I was about to say. So I
Good.
hope you know that you ruined the podcast.
That's how
and I can't
important
do
it was.
Then don't say
Very
why.
important. All right, no. For real though, I would hope that it's more in line with 16 because with these filler episodes, again, not entirely filler, we did get some
I just
progression of the
explained
plot.
why it wasn't a filler.
Again. Fight!
No. All right, here we go, Jared. I wasn't
You've
ready.
got a
but we can do
pen.
this.
That's like a weapon. How fair is that?
No, I don't have a pen. Look, it's gone.
Whoa. Oh, that's
Shoot.
cool. For those of
Dude.
you who are listening, Cole can summon a pen to his hand through the magic of the green screen.
See? No, but more in line, so I actually don't forget what I'm talking about. More in line, closer to 16, because obviously the best TV shows constantly moving the plot along. If we had 8 episodes or even maybe 10 episodes of like every other episode being somewhat progressive and then everything else being filler and then like every other episode being really important, I feel like that would just make the season, I don't know, feel pretty not insignificant but just like short and not a lot of happened in that season, if that makes sense. So
Definitely.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting though to go from Clone Wars, which was just kind of like jumping around all over the place, different characters, different times, to go to a more like serialized form of storytelling in terms of we follow the same people episode to episode to episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me when South Park made the switch from going, doesn't matter, here's a funny episode, to okay, now we're going to do episodes that impact each other directly. So definitely, I'm sure it's a change of pace for them.
I'm a fan.
Definitely, yeah, I'm liking it so far. We'll have to see how they stick their finale.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think related to what you just said there, Cole, your theory there kind of makes me think that what you said about the episodes being kind of on and off, or at least Jarod, somewhat on and off. That could be
Don't step on his toes.
that could be a legitimate strategy on behalf of Disney to basically be like, all right, we need like really focused writing on this episode, and then like let's bring in the children's book writers and then get just like maybe some ideation from them to continue on our mid episodes. I don't know.
You think they just take an episode off every week? They're like, screw that episode. Put all of our resources on the next episode.
What if it was actually
That one,
like that?
give
like,
it to a 2-year-old. See what he does with it. See what he does with it.
I'm just
What he
throwing
does
it
with
out
it.
there.
the
Instead he
animation
chase a
style
puppy.
switches.
We made him chase a puppy. Yeah.
The fans will eat it up.
It's so gritty.
So gritty. So
I don't
gritty.
I don't think you're giving the team there enough credit saying that they just take off every other.
I'm not saying they take off. All right, you're putting.
They
words
only
in
have
my
a
mouth.
2-week
I'm
vacation
saying maybe
each
maybe it
episode.
is legitimately a way that they cut out some cost in the budget by not having quite as insane shit happening every single episode.
Maybe.
Or to keep people
to lengthen.
invested in, to lengthen the series or something to keep people invested in Disney Plus for more often. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Well,
just
Maybe they're
weeks
doing
from
things
now.
right, and they
Yeah.
made 8 episodes that are good in their eyes.
and then they said, let's add another 8 episodes. We're just chasing puppies every day.
It's just Omega at a planet where it's just different kinds of puppies.
She's just chasing different space creatures.
She's just laughing her little butt off.
And Crosshair's just shooting his
As many
his
squad mates as
clan
it takes to get the message across.
as many as it takes. They're like, "Why are you killing us?" And he's like,
Because I follow orders.
I'm angry. You didn't make your bed this morning. I noticed that. You know
Good
that's
soldiers.
against protocol.
Good
You have
soldiers
to
must make their beds.
Protocol.
Yeah,
Good
we'll have to see.
soldiers always make their beds.
It's a
That's gold.
tagline. Back when I was definitely in military school, I used to have a poster of that on my wall. It just inspired me to make my bed every morning.
I don't think anybody goes to a military school.
Maybe
Yeah,
not you, Jared.
You know, something
don't-
about everything you just said there
What?
makes me think that I
You're
don't
like-
believe you.
Back in
That-
military school?
that just kind of
First of all,
insults me that you wouldn't. That you're
I'm
questioning.
almost
my
positive that's
validity.
not what they would call it. I
It's-
feel like
that's
they
what
would
the
call it
military.
something
That's what
else.
us military folk call it.
Is
They
that
might
what
I
ask-
feel like
you
the
call
military
yourselves
folk
military folk?
would. I think the military folk would think of a better name than military school.
You'd think, but we're not known for our wit. We're known we're known
come
for-
at the.
for getting in it. I can say it because I am a military folk.
I believe this is a crime that's being committed in front of our eyes here, Jared.
come-
You
I
lie!
I know he's got.
I will
military
take your
in
stars,
his family.
your stripes.
Hey, don't be dishing out my. Hang on, here's a camera. Don't be dishing out my family details.
Oh, I
alright?
can see it
Whoa!
through
I
your
can
mouth.
see space throughout your
No,
mouth.
don't do no.
You don't know what I'm
Okay.
harboring inside.
We're definitely ending the podcast by everyone being engulfed by Cole's massive space mouth.
Oh my gosh, it's
Um,
terrible.
So maybe to get us back on rails a little bit.
What rails? Never saw him in the first place.
This is a maglev train, baby. No rails, no problem.
That's this podcast.
Recently there has been some Disney news, or more specifically Star Wars news, that I am very, very excited about. You can back up a little bit. Yeah,
Star
can-
Wars news.
you're getting really close there.
What is the Star Wars news? Cole?
Jared, I am glad that you asked, because I was just about to tell you regardless of that question. Dave Filoni,
David.
who had
Filoni.
previously worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender and then moved on to Star Wars: The Clone Wars, my personal
back.
favorite Star Wars media, recently got appointed to creative
Lead director of the movie version of Wallace and Gromit, The Lost Slipper, and The Curse of the Ram's Bottoms. I couldn't believe it either, but Cole is so right. Seeing Dave Filoni finally take a role that's really going to challenge him because he succeeded at everything in Star Wars, I agree that the only step up from Star Wars could be Wallace and
Wallace and
Gromit. And I'm glad
Gromit.
he finally took this step.
It's just about whether they're going to do claymation. You know
Also,
what I mean?
I think, he was made some lead of some Star Wars.
He was,
something.
yeah. He also became the creative director of Lucasfilm moving forward.
I
So
guess
but that's less important news than Wallace and Gromit, of course.
I can't wait for that.
The thing is I don't know what the news is that Cole's trying to say, so I'm like on the edge of my seat here.
I just said the news.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
It was he's now the creative director of Lucasfilm. So I don't think he's head with Lucasfilm.
Well, wasn't he pretty much
like
that
fine.
already?
No, he wasn't. He was partially involved in The Mandalorian, and he was the creator of the Clone Wars. But now he is in charge of all Star Wars things moving forward.
So the lady's out?
No, she's still. It's a Job and Michael Bluth situation, where Kathleen Kennedy is the Job, just the face of it all, just like approves the decisions because she's more of the business end of things, versus storyboarding from here on out is run by Dave Filoni.
I see.
And in my eyes, he's personally like a mini George Lucas. So like he never does anything without being like, this works with the universe. George Lucas would approve it. So
I think he does get a lot of his stuff even approved directly from George Lucas.
He did.
You might have even said that to me the other day.
I know that specifically with a lot of the Mandalorian things, he did that. He didn't want to add anything that George Lucas would have been upset with or didn't think worked. So I personally think that's great news for Star Wars. Since now he's going to have like, oh, we're making movies. Got you. I'll come up with stuff for that. Oh, we're creating TV shows. Got you. I'll come up with stuff for that. And hopefully, ideally, comes with a pay raise because that man works too hard to keep Star Wars a reputable and profitable franchise.
A man's a busy man.
He is. I believe.
Yeah, I like that. That sounds great.
Definitely a move in the right direction for Star Wars. I mean, yeah. But everything that he has touched in relation to Star Wars has been pretty much gold. And that is after the biggest glut, or not glut, but the opposite of a glut, the biggest drought of Star Wars content that was good in forever, basically.
I just feel like he treats it with respect and care that I don't want to say it deserves because that's much more of an opinion-based thing. But I mean, any work of art should be.
But it does deserve it objectively.
It does, but it does deserve the respect and care. But I feel like Disney was viewing it as Star Wars. This will make us a lot of money, versus George or Dave Filoni was like, "This is Star Wars, my childhood. Yes. Like I want to see it do well. I don't care if it's making money. It'd be nice if it was, but I care about this and I want to see the world explored in a meaningful but understandable way, rather than just being like, keep him going. We want movies, just redo the old movies and title it something else and we'll make money."
I think they're already making the moolah. They want the real fan base back.
Mm-hmm. The diehard fans like there is for Marvel.
I mean, there's always gonna be diehard fans.
Disney's non-profit, dog.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Definitely not a monopoly in the entertainment industry for sure.
Not yet, which brings us to a quick bit of news in the industry, which is an interesting thing. DC did not almost get bought by Marvel. You may have seen this article flying around the internet. It's a big place, the internet. I once read somewhere a quote that said, "Don't trust everything you read on the internet," which I personally go by, and that was Abraham Lincoln that said that.
Never gone.
And I read that on the internet, which is of course means it's true. But anyways, after a merger in Warner and Discover, there was an opening in a potential movement of the company to another buyer after like 1 million shares were offloaded by a previous exec. So he basically did that to enable DC and everything encompassed now by Warner Vision and Discovery's merger. He has enabled them to basically have a potential to sell. And that doesn't mean that Marvel is going to buy them. That article was essentially clickbait, but it does mean that Marvel or Netflix or Hulu, who is also owned by Disney, I just remembered, or Apple or Amazon could purchase them. And speaking of Amazon, Jarod has some interesting news.
MGM Studios is also trying to be bought by Amazon for $9 billion. So That would be a lot of movie that have already been made that they would acquire, as well as studios in general. So like that'd be pretty dang crazy as well. $9 billion is a lot of money, so it better be.
Dude.
And they, as not trying to sound like I'm a businessman, but I am a very smart man.
Very smart. Smart
brain.
guy.
Whenever you're buying something like that, the company that's selling it has to assess how much not only its back catalog is worth, but also how much its future movies will be worth.
Yeah.
I know before the podcast got started, we were previously talking about how the rights to Spider-Man were possibly being thrown around for $10 billion, not necessarily because they think all the past Spider-Man material is worth that much, but the continuing profit that Spider-Man can produce, whether that be like
As well as like
clothing, toy,
Yeah, exactly,
movie,
exactly.
all things related, which the same goes for MGM. So 9 billion sounds like a lot of money, but how quickly will they might recoup those losses?
Could be
Marvel
I know-
makes a movie for like makes profit in hundreds of millions of dollars
Yeah.
every movie. So
I
I think they could make those back
pretty quick.
in pretty good time.
Yeah, so it's always a tough little line you have to ride there between like how much do we think this will pay off and how much is this almost like investing that this will make us money in the future. So
Some
enough-
interesting moves though.
yeah, crazy to think that MGM, a studio that's been around since Wizard of Oz, I think was them, that now they're going down as well, much like Fox did.
Yeah.
It's all going down to the giants, the tech giants now.
Yeah,
It would be interesting if you guys had to see one company purchase that new merged group of Discover and Warner. What would you hope would acquire them?
I kind of wish they'd just like
would do
not
well as a
so.
company.
Yeah.
But
I don't
if they
want
had
them-
to be, if they,
I
if
don't
that
want them
was
to.
happening,
Jared,
which
if your
I mean,
hands were
it
tied, gun
seems
to your
like
head, which there is.
Yeah.
say the right thing, man. Say it.
I'd rather it go to like at least Amazon or a company that's at least like doing well so that they can do it justice when they actually acquire it and don't just like flop a bunch. Like I don't really like what Netflix is doing a lot as far as originals. They have some good stuff, some bad stuff, but you could find a lot of crap on Netflix by just surfing around. As far as other ones, like Apple barely seems like it has a very much content whatsoever.
I forgot Apple TV is a streaming
Hey,
service.
they have a lot of
just
stuff
now.
on there actually.
I have it. It's underwhelming in my opinion.
Some of their originals are pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I love some of their originals. I've really like two of them. Mosquito Coast, I think it's called, and then Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah, that one's
Ted
good.
Lasso is hilarious, and I can't wait for season 2. I enjoy those, but it doesn't mean that I think the streaming service is necessarily good.
I only say that because I feel like the main focus would just be their ability to produce good content. And I feel like Apple definitely at least has the capital to churn out some good movies.
For sure.
But do they have
for
the
sure.
same capital that Amazon has?
Well,
Which would be my
Amazon-
answer to your question.
I don't think Amazon's going to be making that move if they just I mean, dude, it is possible, right? It's possible
mean,
that Amazon is just like, we are now focusing on film, and we just acquired MGM, and now we're going to go and acquire this new merged company. to
It's
get
entirely
DC.
possible. I mean, with the whole how well their streaming services have been doing, I think. Well, I know that Invincible and The Boys, both which were received very well, and show that they have kind of the know how to do superhero kind of stuff. They both did pretty well, so they have experience in it. And I'm pretty sure they're coming out with a Lord of the Rings series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
they are clearly trying to dabble a bit more into the film and television, since that seems to be a pretty big industry to make a lot of money in, if
Sure.
in terms of not participating in, but like creating itself. So, and it seems like they're a bit willing to do a little bit more risky kind of stuff, versus Disney's like, well, it's got to fall under the umbrella of being family friendly, versus Amazon's like, if Nah, let's just make let's just make shit. Yeah. So Amazon, I'm sure, is always trying to increase their plethora of wealth incomes. I'm not sure if that sentence made a lot of sense, but it did to me.
That was all business terms.
Almost, yeah, all business terms, surely.
Verified.
So yeah, if I had to see a Warner Brothers and Discover go to somebody, I would probably say Amazon. Although I hate the fact that all these smaller companies are now failing and just being absorbed into larger companies.
Yeah.
But
Well,
this isn't a business podcast.
Yeah. It will definitely be interesting going forward, just because it seems like every few years something like this happens now, where some studio is buying another studio.
Yeah.
And a lot of it
Condensing.
time it's just these tech giants now. So I think they're just gonna take over the media as far as
I know
as
Disney's
far
buying
as
tech
like
giant, but
movies go. They've just been clinching it in all corners. So
they've been clenching their cheeks.
we're definitely gonna
Butthole
get some
is
high
taut.
product stuff for sure. It's like a lot of money going into them. So I don't think money is gonna be a problem with their shows if they believe in the idea. It'll just be
100%.
interesting to see if they can get good mixed stuff out on their
Yeah.
Definitely.
platforms.
We'll have to see if
Appease the masses.
anything else is coming out. We'll keep you updated. We will be talking about it regularly. By regularly, I mean once a week. So
But
if the story develops, check back in, Eddie.
Cole, what is that? What is that creature that's over there to the left of
Wait,
you?
hang on. I'm gonna do a little shtick right now. Yeah.
Just gonna
are
stick
you about
it.
to shtick me up?
Winfred, I'm currently in the midst of a celestial invasion. If
Oh
you
my
actually
lord.
look into the back, I'm surrounded. I am completely dwarfed by these giant behemoths that did create the Eternals, but not the Eternals trailer, because that just came out and that was made by Marvel. We will be talking about that. What a fucking segue.
I thought that you were actually there.
I am.
I was about
confused.
to
am.
start
See?
asking questions like,
Oh, go
Cole,
ahead.
how did you get there?
Go ahead. I hopped in a ship. I thought I was on the subway down to downtown, and I'm currently now in the midst of a cosmic celestial creation. So
Cole, are they trying to speak with you?
they do not have mouths, more so just lines that light up.
What do the lines look like? Are they RGB?
If you actually look right here, this is a line. It appears to be some sort of
That
orange
looks like just
color.
O.
Cole,
that's
how far
O.
away from them are you right now?
About 2 feet.
That's close.
2 feet.
You should move.
They're tiny.
2 feet is a lot bigger in space. It's different
Oh, because of the right.
because of
Right.
stars.
No, I
and-
got it. You don't have to
and
explain. No, I
Two-
understand.
Two.
and the lack of gravity.
The gravity. Yeah.
The
But
Cole.
anyways,
yeah, Eternals.
the Eternals,
Eternals
trailer, boy.
Long awaited. This movie, I think, was supposed to come out of November of last year.
Quite.
So, oh wow, is that what is that? Neil Gaiman?
This is Neil Gaiman's version.
Neil
Gaiman.
Gaiman.
However you want to say it. I'm no gay man, but I'll say it how I want. How about that? Now,
Which-
it will not be following the story of this, from what I understand, though this is epic.
Believe it it is.
So it's actually going to be following the story of this, which is epic. Let's take a glance on the inside, boys.
Oh,
That down there, that's Shaq. Shaq is in Eternals.
Shaquille
Shaq.
O'Neal.
But
You can
anyways,
see
the
Shaq's
trailer
tentacles.
was what dropped today. Also, this book.
Not
Oh. Yes, it did, and it looks star-studded. It is
very star-studded. Whether you're talking about actual stars or movie stars.
Yeah, it's looking pretty tasty, pretty atmospheric. You know,
Which parts were tasty, Jared?
all the parts.
Which specific parts in grave detail.
Dude, all the fact that they're working with people from olden times. Old times.
Talking about Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared, I agree
No,
with
no, no,
you.
no.
The
15
juicy
years
parts were
old.
the
No, no,
every
no.
scene with Angelina Jolie. You
No,
said
no, no,
it
I meant-
subliminally.
Oh,
I meant
the movie
the
itself.
the time
Ancient
period
times.
of the movie,
I got you. Jared.
not
Gotcha.
the actors in it.
I was like,
Wow.
Angelina Jolie
I
isn't
can't
that
believe
dated.
I can't believe you go after Angelina like that.
No, I thought you were going after Angelina.
Listen,
I'm married
I-
to her. I
This
would not
guy- this
do
guy
that.
down there is he's hindered.
Is
His
hindered by-
capabilities
Yeah.
restricted.
Yeah, but this movie looks pretty interesting. They all look a little OP though. That's
Yeah.
they look
Apparently
sick.
they're all more. I know very, very little, which I'm actually kind of excited for because I felt the same way about Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, who are these guys? Like,
Yeah.
I know these actors, but I don't know who any of these people are.
That
And look how critically well received that those movies were, and how like much of a highlight of the MCU that is, and how
Yeah.
it just completely exploded the MCU into this whole cosmics side of things.
Mhm.
So I'm actually very excited to see them do something that not a lot of people know about, because it worked really well for them in the past. But and like you were saying, Jared, this does seem like a very, very star-studded cast with got some recent actors and you got some older actors like Samaya Herrick or Angelina Jolie and whatnot. But you also get to see the Stark brothers reunite. You got Kit Harington and the guy who played Rob Stark, who I'm currently drawing
Richard
a blank
Madden.
on. Richard Madden, that's it. Yep, Madden 2020.
Madden
Uh,
2020
created by Richard Madden.
on
but
Disney
yeah.
Plus.
Do we know what the film's about at all, or it seemed just more of like a tease of
It
what's
was
to
it
come?
was a pretty teasy teaser.
I felt teased.
Pretty teasy teaser.
Yeah,
A
but
testicular
so
teaser. if you
they
will.
helped humanity once by it looks like they like helped us start off like showing us how to farm.
She was giving
uh,
that one person a knife.
Yeah, showing them some technology. So they helped once. I'm not quite sure why they wouldn't, or if they were too far away, or why they didn't interfere during Thanos.
Or literally any other event that was destroying the world, such as Ultron.
So you don't know
or
if they're in,
Hydra.
like, are they in a situation where they're like, did something happen in the past that made them say that they're not worth looking after anymore?
Mhm.
And why are they back now?
Not to drop spoilers, but if I remember right, it has been like a couple months since I read the comic. I think their identities, assuming it's following the same story.
That's right, I did hear about
their
this. Yeah.
identities, they somehow like forget them, and I don't remember what happens. Conveniently, I don't remember.
Did
what
everybody
happens.
forget them, or only some people?
I believe it was all of them, but I could be wrong. To move to like a more niche part of this, the actors, I do totally agree. Like, these are some A-list actors. That said, Kumail Nanjiani, have you guys seen like much of his work?
I saw that one movie he did with Dave Bautista. I forget what it's called, but not much since he's bulked up.
Dude, well, I don't think he's been in basically almost anything since he's bulked up. But man, I don't know what it is about, whether it's the roles he's given, like the writing in those roles, or just him. But everything that I have pretty much ever seen him in, I have not been a huge fan of. And I'm looking right now, like, he was in the newest Men in Black movie, garbage. He was
International.
Yeah. He was in
Haven't
that.
seen that.
Stuber was the one with Dave Bautista. That one.
Yeah, I've seen
also,
Stuber, which not
garbage.
great.
He was in Doolittle, garbage. Like, yeah, I'm looking through. I don't know, man.
I do
Hopefully
think
this would be. Go
no,
ahead, Jared,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that I do think that although he's a comedian
Yes.
that acts,
Yeah.
and usually that doesn't give you a whole lot, not for a very long time, unless you're like a breakout comedian like Paul Rudd or something, who also got one of his like bigger roles from Marvel. So like I think what I'm trying to say is he's surrounded by a star-studded cast, a bunch of people that are really good at acting. And then with all those people around him, with good writing, with everything, I don't really worry about him too much because I think that they're going to get the best out of him.
Hopefully. And especially
agree,
with
hopefully.
the director Chloe Zhao, who I think over this past Oscars won Best Director. So
Yeah.
I think I just heard this recently. She's the first director moving forward in the Marvel Universe that has had a Best Director, not just nomination, but like award.
That's
Yeah.
pretty legit.
So it's
Fun
pretty
fact,
legit.
he is also going to be in the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Huh.
Interesting.
I do agree,
You
Jarod.
heard it here
you're,
first.
You're probably right. I guess the thing that hinders me from being not worried about it is just that I've known he's a comedian, and yet you see him in roles that you feel like he could do well in, and then he doesn't.
For sure.
Like I think the first thing that really stuck out to me as being like, man, this is painful to watch, was he had this episode of The Twilight Zone, the new version that came out with
Jordan Peele.
yes, in 2019, I think that started coming out.
Mhm.
That episode was like the first or maybe even second episode, and the whole time I was like, I know that you're funny, but like what you're doing here is not necessarily good. But it is kind of besides the point. That's just me not liking him as an actor, but I do
Yeah.
hope that they can. I mean, I have faith in
Rein
Marvel.
him in a little bit.
Yeah.
We just always have to keep in mind that when going into any sort of piece of media, whether it be movie, TV, hell, even music or books or stuff, much less books, but there's a number of minds working on it, whether that be people involved because they were looking to make it profitable, whether that's people involved looking to make it good, whether it's production wise, writing wise. A lot of different people make what we end up seeing. So I don't want to put all the blame on, I don't know how to say his name, sorry, I'm burping a shit ton. Kumail Nanjiani or something like that.
Yeah, something close enough.
So yeah, but we also did see him in Community in one of the episodes when they're talking about the air repairman or whatever, air conditioning repairman. He's in that episode, and I think he was fine in that. So I hopefully it's a lot of good talent that is going to be properly utilized. I'm
If
just
there
really
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If there was more in the cast that I was like, I don't know them or whatever, but I think they can hide him enough, even if he's
Yeah.
not fantastic.
We got that guy from Train to Busan, that Korean
Yeah.
guy. We got Angelina Jolie, Samaya Herrick, Kent Harington, Richard Madden.
It's stacked.
It's pretty stacked.
They
It's
got
pretty
that
stacked.
guy from Atlanta,
Mhm.
which I really like.
And
Just a random man from city of
from
Atlanta.
Georgia.
Yes.
And I did hear, and this is much more a personal thing, that a lot of Chloe Zhao, the director, fought really hard to make sure that they filmed on location for a lot of these things
Dope.
because
That's
she's like,
awesome.
she said it's such a diverse movie that and all these different places that they're living in, she wanted to truly encapsulate that instead of rather just CGIing everything,
They
which
got
I
that big
personally love.
screen.
Obviously, CGI is important, but I respect the hell out of actually doing something physical or going on
I
location.
think
for shooting.
some of the stuff that looks the best is when you incorporate real and fake the best,
100%.
Yeah.
not just really good fake stuff.
Nothing breaks the immersion. Yeah, it could be something that's like so good, but you just will always know in the back of your head, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the original The Thing?
Yeah, John Carpenter, 1978.
Yeah, dude, that
something like that.
movie. Talk about practical effects. That's I think one of the few movies where you can go like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You could try and add special effects to make it look like smoother or
They
like
tried,
something.
and it did not work out well.
Or like aliens.
Mm-hmm. The special effects. I know that
slime.
a lot of times,
My
especially
Wi-Fi
nowadays, they
network
cost more.
name. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's related to the fact that the slime guy that's in the Aliens film should have been paid significantly more money.
The
That's-
slime factor was very real.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
stand by that. Every time I enter the password on a new device, I'm like, and god damn it if that's not the facts.
So yeah, no, in general, I'm intrigued more so than I am excited. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little bit excited for this thing. And Jarod,
Just
this
join
one's
us
for
now.
you. This one's right for you. I guess they're adding another speedster to the MCU again.
That's right.
It's
I
right.
don't know if you
That
saw that.
Flash.
is right.
What?
And I can't
They're adding
wait to
Grant Gustin's
see.
The Flash.
I can't wait to see them die in the first Eternals movie.
I will be livid. Because apparently she is a deaf actor and she will be portraying a deaf person in the movie as well. So real life imitating art there a little bit. But we did see her like flipping through pages a shit ton really fast in the trailer, and she was like speeding around. So
Oh, so you're saying speed reading isn't her power? I was hoping that was her power, dude.
that was it.
How-
She's super
she can-
speed, but only when she's reading.
Professor
great.
X, but kind of lame.
She has to
And
like
deaf.
cram.
She just has like a bad memory, but she'll just be like, "All right, what do we need to know right now?" She's like, "All right, let's run to the library, come back."
No, she can't. She can run to the library, but it won't be super speed. Not until she starts reading.
No, it was a
That's where the
figurative
super
run. Like,
speed
let's
kicks- yeah.
walk over. The library is a few blocks south.
Oh, man.
She just always carries a book around with her while she's running.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I
I'm pretty
mean,
excited for them.
do you guys have anything else that you're interested in saying here regarding the Eternals trailer, or perhaps some missing Bad Batch comment?
Yeah, I got a comment. I'm quitting
out.
the podcast.
I don't
I'm
care.
qu-
I don't care.
That's
I don't
actually
care.
what it was going to be related to. I'm quitting the podcast, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't care. Shut up.
This
Oh, you remind me of
You're
like,
under
that-
contract for
that
3,000
one-
episodes.
That one like girlfriend that like just keeps saying, "I'm breaking up with you," just to get attention. That's what you remind me of.
if you're
fine.
calling me attention seeking, you might have hit the nail right on the head, but it sure hurt my heart. I don't like being called out on things that strike home. Please, let's just. I was hoping that would just be subtle. I was hoping I was being subtle. So,
No.
can I get attention?
Wait, hold on. What
You-
happens
you
if
can
we all
listen.
get real close, and then we just start? What if we were all just whispering? Just right. Hey, everybody.
Whisper. Hey.
We're gonna be back this coming week, and at that point, we're gonna be talking about Bad Batch episode 5, MODOK. Also, what is the name of the best zombie content that has come out to date, Cole? That you keep mentioning 100,000 times. Oh, did you do the mouth zoom? Do it
I
again.
think so.
Do it one more time. I
no,
missed it.
I think we can't keep getting.
Oh, whoa! It did it on your teeth.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone who's just listening,
I'm very
is-
interested to see that one.
Cole has a green screen on Zoom, and he, when getting close to the camera, can see his background image
It's
in
so
his
ugly
mouth.
every time.
How is
Or-
that ugly? How
I-
are I'm
think
not
it's-
ugly.
I'm
I'm pretty
personally
sure that-
attracted.
Yeah, I'm definitely quitting this
That's a wet
podcast.
mouth,
Jarod called me ugly. I'm
baby.
done. Thanks for coming out. Bye bye.
Well,
All right.
I
wasn't committed to the bit.
Goodness,
I wasn't committed to the
coming
bit.
back moments after leaving. You know what?
I thought about
You know
it.
what I think? I think that everyone watching right now, and those who aren't watching, I think we should address both now. That's where I'm at. I think we address both groups of people. You both like and subscribe. Are you subscribed? Make an alt account. Subscribe again. You already have an alt account? Make 300 more accounts. And then
Blow us
contact
up.
me personally, and then I'll say, I appreciate that. Make 500 more alt accounts and continue doing
You
it.
know your mom and dad's like they have like 3 emails, like a work one for emergencies, like the
want
regular
that.
one, and then
The-
the like one that they
the
try to
church
get all their
email.
spam on, the church email. Yeah.
Church.
You get
Everybody
all of
go subscribe
them.
on your church
Make
emails.
make an account for all of them. And then when your parents are like, YouTube
Ah.
Be like, it's the Sci-Fi Rebellion.
YouTube is attacking, you
Blow
just
it up.
reply with that. Yeah.
What is
Couldn't
this?
agree more.
What is this subscription I see? It's the Sci-Fi Rebellion, Mom. Sci-Fi
Sci-Fi
Rebellion.
I donated your life savings to their Patreon, which we don't have set up yet.
Speaking of which, we're not going to do that yet. But I was going to say we were. But we're not going to. So I'm going to say, right at this exact moment, I love you. Do you guys love him or her behind there?
You know,
I
sit
don't.
up first off. All right.
Get off the toilet.
Now you're looking better.
I have strong feelings for you, but I'm not quite sure I'm there yet with the whole love thing.
How far can we read into these people?
We can look, if you look close to
I
your
feel like
camera,
I
you
know
can see
half
past
of our audience
That's why-
personally.
This is for those
not
of you who aren't
Not if we
watching.
hit 50 million likes like I promised earlier in the video.
Well, we're pretty much guaranteed at this point.
Yeah.
mean-
So if you want to see world hunger end, make sure you hit that like button and do it 50 million more times.
And hey, you know, who knows? Maybe if we get 50 million likes, we reevaluate the whole bald person issue. I don't know.
It's possible.
My stance personally, I have no
Get-
change.
Get baldism out of the movie industry.
I said last week I was for bald rights, but
This week I'm against it.
I was lying. You know, when I said that. That was a lie.
We were adamantly against bald people.
We're trying to get as much hair on the screen as possible. So
If you don't have hair, you don't have my interest.
And
That's-
if you do have hair, you
You
should pay
still-
me interest.
So yeah, I think it's
I think
official.
we should. I think we wrap this one up.
I think we should.
All right. Oh wait. Also, if anyone actually watched to this point in the video, and earlier in the video, you were like, "Yo, why does that man's arm look so weird?" You see that? You see that? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know what
Your eyes
happened?
couldn't
I was in a
handle it.
brutal scooter accident. I was shot while I was driving. Drive-by shooting. I was on the scooter. They were on the bicycle, of course. And it was just a horrible time. I sustained major injuries. And I'm not going to leave any room for us to talk about that anymore. But just know that I was slaughtered. And with that, the music's coming in right now next week. Sci-Fi Rebellion, episode 4.